I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels like that, but I'm gonna do my best. Look at this costume I got from my job. I have no idea what this is supposed to be. It's a pretty crappy costume, but I thought since it's almost October, I would just start early for you guys. Whatever. I'm gonna keep trying. But also, I might have to pick up a second and maybe like third job, so I may not have as much time to make YouTube videos, which really sucks. I wish I had figured out how to have it monetized by now, but it's very difficult, especially with complex PTSD. I have realized to even have the motivation to want to keep going with like regular videos and like sharing my emotions in my life. I don't know. When I'm not doing well, I don't want to do any of those things. I don't even want to dance. I haven't felt like dancing in a while, and like I feel like my dancing videos do really well, but I cannot force myself to do those things. I just do them when I'm happy, so it's a give and a take, and right now I cannot put my whole life into YouTube despite how much I want to. I have to work my ass off to pay my rent and to work towards a happier life for myself. It's really scary being alone, but I've made decisions that have put me in a very lonely place, and so I guess now is my time to sit with that. As my grandma said on the phone about an hour ago, don't depress me more than I already am, so I'm gonna shut up now and just start reading. Okay. Also, look at these eels. You can't see them though because they're out of frame. Oh my gosh, I don't think you can even see still. Damn it. Whatever, okay. I put them on to look cute for you guys, and now you can't even see them. Whatever. I am stressed, but I am way better than I have been a lot of times this year, so that's good. We're starting a new chapter. This is called Die Laughing. What does it say? We stood under the stars at Grand Central, or so I have to assume, since I could sooner hook my ankles over my ears than tilt back my head for an unobstructed view of what lies above. What does it say? Bruno repeated, jabbing his elbow into my ribs as I raised my chin another notch towards the departures board. My upper lip parted from the lower to be liberated from the weight of the jaw. Hurry up, Bruno said. Hold your horses, I told him, except that with my mouth open it came out as, hold your horses. I could just make out the numbers. 9:45, I said, or rather, 9 RDI. What time is it now? Bruno demanded. I worked my gaze back down to my watch. 9:43, I said. We started to run. Not run, but move in such a way that two people who've worn away all manner of balls and sockets move if they want to catch a train. I had the lead, but Bruno was hot on my heels. Then Bruno, who'd hit upon a way to small coffee. The man in the paper hat paused. It's cheaper if you get a medium. America, God bless it. All right, I said, make it a medium. The man went off and came back with the coffee. Give me a Bavarian cream and a glazed, Bruno said. I shot him a look. What? He said, shrugging. Give him a Bavarian cream, I said. And a vanilla, said Bruno. I turned to glare at him. Mea culpa, he said. Vanilla. Go sit down, I told him. He stood there. Sit, I said. Make it a cruller, he said. The Bavarian cream was gone in 4 bites. He licked his fingers, then held the cruller up to the light. It's a donut, not a diamond, I said. It's stale, said Bruno. Eat it anyway, I told him. Change it for an apple spice, he said. The train left the city behind. Green fields fell away to either side. It had been raining for days, and it kept raining. Many times I'd imagined where Isaac lived. I'd found it on a map. Once I even called up information. If I want to get from Manhattan to my son, I asked, how do I go? I'd pictured it all, down to the last detail. Happy days, I'd come bearing a gift. A pot of jam, perhaps. We wouldn't stand on ceremony. Too late for all that. Maybe we'd toss a ball around on the lawn. I can't catch, nor, frankly, can I throw. And yet, we'd talk baseball. I've followed the game since Isaac was a boy. When he rooted for the Dodgers, I too was rooting. I wanted to see what he saw and hear what he heard. I kept abreast, as much as possible, of popular music. The Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Bob Dylan. Lay, lady, lay. You don't need a brass bed to understand it. Each night I'd come home from work and order from Mr. Tong's. Then I'd pull a record from its sleeve, lift the needle, and listen. Every time Isaac moved, I mapped out the route between my place and his. The first time he was 11. I used to stand across the street from his school in Brooklyn and wait for him, just to catch a glimpse, maybe, if I was lucky, hear the sound of his voice. One day I waited as usual, but he didn't come out. I thought maybe he'd gotten in trouble and had to stay late. It got dark. They turned off the lights, and still he hadn't come. I went back the next day, and again I waited, and again he didn't come. That night I imagined the worst. I couldn't sleep, imagining all the awful things that might have happened to my child. Even though I'd promised myself I never would, the next morning I got up early and went by where he lived. Not went by, stood across the street. I watched for him, or for Alma, or even that Shmuel, her husband. And yet, no one came. Finally, I stopped a kid who came out of the building. You know the Moritz family? He stared at me. Yeah, so what? He said. They still live here? I asked. What's it to you? He said, and started to go off down the street, bouncing a rubber ball. I grabbed him by the collar. There was a look of fear in his eyes. They moved to Long Island, he blurted out, and took off running. A week later, a letter arrived from Alma. She had my address, because once a year, on her birthday, I sent her a card. Happy birthday, I'd write, from Leo. I tore open her letter. I know you watch him, she wrote. Don't ask me how, but I know. I keep waiting for the day when he'll ask for the truth. Sometimes when I look in his eyes, I see you. And I think you're the only one who could answer his questions. I hear your voice like you were next to me. I read the letter I don't know how many times, but that's not the point. What mattered was that, in the upper left corner of the envelope, she'd written the return address, 121 Atlantic Avenue, Long Beach, New York. I got out my map and memorized the details of the journey. I used to fantasize about disasters, floods, earthquakes, the world thrown into chaos so that I'd have a reason to go to him and sweep him up under my coat. When I'd given up the hope of accentuating circumstances, I started to dream about our being thrown together by chance. I calculated all the ways our lives might casually intersect, finding myself sitting beside him on a train or in the waiting room of a doctor's office. But in the end, I knew that it was up to me. When Alma was gone, and 2 years later, Mordecai, there had been nothing anymore to stop me. And yet, 2 hours later, the train pulled into the station. I asked the person in the ticket booth how I could get a taxi. It had been a long time since I'd been out of the city. I stood in wonder of the greenness of everything. We drove for some time. lighthouse came into view. A little wind was chasing the clouds. Between the branches, I saw a lake. I'd imagined this place many times, but never with a lake. The oversight pained me. "You can drop me here," I said, before we reached the clearing. I half expected someone to be home. As far as I knew, Isaac had lived by himself, but you never know. The taxi came to a halt. I paid and got out, and it backed away down the drive. I made up a story about my car breaking down and needing a phone, took a deep breath, and pulled my collar up against the rain. I knocked. There was a bell, so I rang it. I knew he was dead, but a small part of me still hoped. I imagined his face as he would pull open the door. What would I have said to him, my only child? "Forgive me, your mother didn't love me the way I wanted to be loved. Perhaps I didn't love her the way she needed either." And yet, there was no answer. I waited just to be sure. When no one came, I walked around to the back. There was a tree on the lawn which reminded me of the tree on which I'd once carved our initials, A+L, and she never knew. Just as for 5 years I never knew that our sum had come to equal a child. The grass was slippery with mud. In the distance I could see a rowboat tied to the dock. I looked out across the water. Must have been a good swimmer, took after his father, I thought with pride. My own father, who had great respect for nature, had dropped each of us into the river soon after we were born, before our ties to the amphibians, so he claimed we're cut completely. My sister Hannah blamed her lisp on the trauma of this memory. I like to think that I would have done it differently. I would have held my son in my arms. I would have told him, "Once upon a time you were a fish." "A fish?" he would have asked. "That's what I'm telling you, a fish." "How do you know?" "Because I was also a fish." "You too?" "Sure, a long time ago." "How long?" "Long." "Anyway, being a fish, you used to know how to swim." "I did." "Sure. You were a great swimmer. A champion swimmer you were. You loved the water. Why?" "What do you mean, why?" "Why did I love the water?" "Because it was your life." And as we talked, I would have let him go, one finger at a time, until, without his realizing, he'd be floating without me. And then I thought, perhaps that is what it means to be a father, to teach your child to live without you. If so, no one was a greater father than I. There was a back door with only one lock, a basic pin tumbler, versus the double lock on the front. I knocked one last time, and when there was no answer, I got to work. I labored over it for a minute until I could ease it open. I turned the handle and pushed. I stood unmoving in the doorway. "Hello," I called. There was silence. I felt a chill down my spine. I stepped inside and closed the door behind me. It smelled of wood smoke. Okay, I'm gonna stop there for today. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of these videos. And maybe hit that notification bell too if you want. I don't know. I don't know what YouTube wants anymore. I don't know what anyone wants. I'm just trying to do my best. Whatever you're doing, have a good day, good night, good evening. Bye, guys. My channel is sponsored by a website called Wildflower Sex. For the rest of this ad read, I'm going to say sax, like saxophone, instead of the word that I need to say. So let's talk more about Wildflower Sax. They read the whole book in a quick enough succession, then I'll be able to dissect it. Maybe I'll make a whole video after I finish this series, dissecting it, explaining why I love it so much, all that jazz. I also want to say I'm sorry if I haven't responded to your comment. Anybody who's commented on any of my videos, first of all, it's hard to keep track of every video's comments, and YouTube for some reason does not notify me of every comment, and I have been so mentally unwell that I feel incapable of speaking to other human beings. At least a lot of the time. There are some times when I feel better. Lately I've felt a lot better, but yeah. I've never been on a train, and I kind of realized growing up how much I really would love it. I think because when my birthday comes around, it's such a weird time. So I end up just doing stuff for myself, by myself, because nobody remembers and nobody cares. But at least that's my experience so far. I think one year I'll probably take myself on a train ride, like through the mountains or something. That would be an absolute dream for me. I love nature. I made up a word for it in my head. Nature roller coaster. Even though it's not like crazy, like a roller coaster. It's like you just get to like sit there and watch. I don't know. It sounds kind of dumb trying to explain it now, but it's always made sense in my head. Nature roller coaster. Okay. Anyway. That's how my mom is when we go to stores or restaurants. It's so embarrassing. I'm like the person who would never... Oh, I'm growing out of that. Now I know how to ask for help or like say when I have a problem at stores or restaurants, but if it's not a big problem, like, I don't know, I just wouldn't make a fool of myself going up and saying, this is stale, replace it for something else. Like, I feel like that's just so rude, and it's definitely not the worker's fault. I mean, maybe it is, but I don't know. I'm the person who would rather eat 2 bites of a stale donut than throw it away, than go up to the workers and tell them that it's stale. Okay. You don't need a brass bed to understand it. Literally rolling my eyes. That's funny, because since me and the guy that I was seeing have started fighting, and I haven't heard from him since, I keep like wondering the same things. Like, I was fantasizing about like seeing him because bad things happened, and then fantasizing about how we might see each